It's about white supremacy. It's about
but
going after
it's
Jews
not about
and
race. But these are two
Romans.
white groups of people.
What she says there is not just stupid, by the way, it's despicable. When she says the Holocaust is basically just flatten it out, it's just about man's inhumanity and man.
The Holocaust isn't about race. No.
The Holocaust isn't about race. Those words from Whoopi Goldberg sent shockwaves through social media, but it was Ben Shapiro's response that truly set the internet on fire. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now back to the video. Curious how a conservative commentator managed to school one of TV's most recognizable faces on such a sensitive topic? You're in for a wild ride. This isn't just another political spat. It's a masterclass in dismantling misinformation. Picture this. Whoopi Goldberg, sitting at the View's table, drops a bombshell that set the internet ablaze.
The Holocaust was not about race? Ask the Nazis. The entire Holocaust was about race. All of it. What she says there is not just stupid, by the way, it's despicable. When she says the Holocaust is basically just flatten it out, it's just about man's inhumanity and man.
The Holocaust isn't about race, she says, looking dead serious. You can almost hear the collective gasp across America. Jewish groups and historians weren't having it. They came out swinging, calling Whoopi's comments not just wrong, but downright offensive. And let's be real, they've got a point. The Nazis didn't exactly check people's religious beliefs before sending them to concentration camps. They were all about that twisted racial purity nonsense. But Whoopi didn't back down. Nope. She doubled down. She goes on Twitter trying to explain herself, saying the Holocaust was about man's inhumanity to man. Nice try, Whoopi, but that's not cutting it. People aren't buying what you're selling.
It's not about race.
What is it about?
Because it's about man's inhumanity to man. It's not about race.
No, it's about a different race.
But it's not about race.
The backlash was brutal. Social media exploded with people calling her out left and right. It got so bad that ABC had to step in. They suspended Whoopi from The View for 2 weeks. That's gotta sting, right? So what exactly did Whoopi say that got Ben Shapiro all fired up? Well, besides the whole not about race thing, she also claimed the Holocaust was just white people doing it to white people. Yikes! That's the kind of statement that makes historians, and, well, anyone who's cracked open a history book cringe hard. Shapiro, being Jewish himself, wasn't about to let that slide. He saw Whoopi's comments as a prime example of how some people try to rewrite history to fit their own narrative. And boy, did he have something to say about it.
And yes, anti-Semitism is different. And yes, you are a complete stupid idiot. My God.
The Holocaust isn't about race. No.
You know, it's wild how one comment on daytime TV can spark such a firestorm. But when you're dealing with something as heavy as the Holocaust, words matter, and Whoopi found that out the hard way. So buckle up, folks, cause we're about to dive into Ben Shapiro's response. And let me tell you, he didn't hold back, not one bit. You've heard Whoopi's side, now it's time for the clap back. Ben Shapiro, the guy conservatives love and liberals love to hate, stepped into the ring, and he didn't just argue. He went full history professor on The View. What made his takedown go viral faster than a cat meme? Let's talk about Ben Shapiro for a sec. This guy's not just some random dude with opinions. He's got a degree from UCLA where he graduated summa cum laude, and then he went and got a law degree from Harvard. Yeah, that Harvard. So when he starts talking, people listen. Shapiro didn't waste any time. He jumped on YouTube and started breaking down Whoopi's comments piece by piece. He wasn't playing around. He brought the receipts straight from the history books. He talked about how the Nazis were all about this crazy idea of racial purity and how they targeted Jews specifically because of their race, not just their religion.
Everything and everyone is racist, except Hitler and the Holocaust. Genius, Whoopi Goldberg.
But Shapiro didn't stop there. He went into detail about how the Nazis classified people, explaining that they saw Jews as a separate race. He even brought up how the Nazis would go back generations to find Jewish ancestry. It wasn't just about what you believed, it was about who you were. The video blew up. We're talking over 1.5 million views on YouTube alone. People were sharing it all over social media, and Shapiro's supporters were loving it. They were like, finally, someone's telling it like it is. They saw it as a much-needed reality check for The View and other mainstream media. So what's the deal with Shapiro and The View? It's not just about this one incident. Shapiro's been calling out what he sees as liberal bias in the media for years. And The View, well, they're kind of a perfect target for him. They're a bunch of celebrities talking about serious issues. And sometimes they get it wrong. And when they do, Shapiro's right there to point it out. This whole thing isn't just about Whoopi or Shapiro, it's about how we talk about history, especially painful history like the Holocaust. It's about who gets to shape the narrative and how we react when someone gets it wrong. And let's be real, when it comes to something as serious as the Holocaust, getting it right matters a lot. The View's not just a daytime talk show, it's like a factory for controversy. From racist comments to anti-vax nonsense, these ladies have said it all. And every time, Ben Shapiro's there to rip them apart. What other crazy stuff have they said that'll make your jaw drop?
They did. They would then understand white privilege better. So my suggestion is start teaching this stuff. I don't think that kids in this country are learning our history. They're not learning about slavery. They're not learning about Jim Crow.
Let's start with Joy Behar. She's got a knack for saying the wrong thing at the wrong time. Remember when she basically said Latinos were only good for cleaning toilets? Yeah, that actually happened.
Every Latino out of this country, then who is going to be cleaning your toilet, Donald Trump?
It's about white supremacy. It's about
but
going
it's
after
not
Jews
about
and
race.
gypsies
But these are two white groups of people.
She asked, if you kick every Latino out of this country, then who is going to be cleaning your toilet, Donald Trump?
She's trying to make an anti-Trump argument. She's like, I can say anything I want. And she's like, I'm going to say something super racist. They're all like,
Talk about putting your foot in your mouth. People were mad, and rightfully so. That's the kind of comment that makes you wonder if these hosts even think before they speak. But wait, there's more. Raven Simonet decided to weigh in on names, of all things. She said she wouldn't hire someone with a name like Watermelondria. Seriously? That's not just insensitive, it's straight up racist. People called her out for it, but the damage was already done. It's like these hosts are in a competition to see who can say the most offensive thing. And let's not forget Elizabeth Hasselbeck. She went full anti-vax on the show, spouting all kinds of nonsense about vaccines. It's one thing to have an opinion, but when you're spreading dangerous misinformation to millions of viewers, that's a whole other level of irresponsible. You'd think all this controversy would tank the show's ratings, right? But nope, people love drama, and The View serves it up hot and fresh every day. Social media just makes it worse. One controversial comment, and boom, it's trending on Twitter. Everyone's talking about it, and The View gets even more attention. Ben Shapiro's had a field day with all this. He's always ready to point out when these hosts say something stupid or offensive. It's like shooting fish in a barrel for him. The View keeps giving him material, and he keeps using it to show how out of touch Hollywood celebrities can be. Whoopi's Holocaust comments. They're just the latest in a long line of foot and mouth moments from The View. It's like they can't help themselves. They try to talk about serious issues, but they end up showing just how little they actually know. And in the age of social media and YouTube takedowns, every mistake gets amplified. It's a perfect storm of ignorance and instant backlash. Whoopi tried to be all woke and anti-racist, but she ended up stepping in it big time. You know how it goes? Sometimes when you're trying so hard not to offend anyone, you end up offending everyone. Classic Hollywood celeb move, right? So here's the deal. Whoopi was trying to say that the Holocaust wasn't about race, thinking she was making some grand point about how we're all human. But guess what? She accidentally reinforced the very racial categories she was trying to break down. It's like she didn't even realize that the Nazis saw Jews as a separate race. Talk about a facepalm moment. And let's be real, race isn't as simple as checking a box on a form. It's this whole complicated social construct that people have been arguing about forever. Scientists keep telling us there's no biological basis for race, but try telling that to the guy who's been pulled over for driving while black. This whole mess ties into all these debates we're having about identity nowadays. Who gets to decide what race you are? Is it how you look, your DNA, or how you feel inside? It's like we're all stuck in this crazy game of identity politics and nobody knows the rules. And don't even get me started on cancel culture. Whoopi said something dumb, and boom, suspended from The View faster than you can say Twitter mob. Is that really helping anyone, or is it just making people afraid to talk about tough issues? But here's the kicker, Whoopi didn't just put her foot in her mouth about race. She somehow managed to stumble into transphobic territory while trying to be progressive. It's like watching a car crash in slow motion. You want to look away, but you just can't. So what's the takeaway from all this? Maybe it's that even well-meaning comments can blow up in your face if you don't know what you're talking about. Or maybe it's that we need to stop expecting celebrities to be experts on everything. Either way, this whole controversy's got people talking. And isn't that what Whoopi wanted in the first place? So here's the deal with this whole Whoopi Goldberg Ben Shapiro showdown. Whoopi said something dumb about the Holocaust, and Shapiro went all history professor on her. It's like watching a heavyweight boxing match, but with words instead of punches. And The View, they're just the latest example of celebs talking out of their butts about stuff they don't really get. But here's the thing, this mess shows how hard it is to talk about serious stuff on daytime TV. You got hosts trying to be woke, but they end up offending everyone instead. It's like walking through a minefield in stilettos. One wrong step and boom, you're trending for all the wrong reasons. And get this, a whole bunch of people actually get their news from these shows, like 30% of Americans. That's crazy, right? It makes you wonder, should we really be trusting celebs to shape how we think about big issues, or are we just setting ourselves up for more facepalm moment?